Holly Flink. These are 4 facts of each strike. I read it wrong and I thought it was just like you need 8 total. And then I realized it was 8 for each, and I just don't have time to find 8 for each, so I only have 4 for each. So let's get started. Thank you. Okay. 1980. So there was like a lot of strikes in between. There's a lot of animation strikes. Animation, Disney and Pixar and DreamWorks and that kind of stuff. They have a lot of strikes. But this is SAG-AFTRA strike, where they just wanted more money. Actors and writers and like other people wanted a 40% increase. They wanted profit sharing, and they wanted, because TV was starting to become a thing, they wanted profit sharing in TV and video cassettes. Pretty basic stuff. So the first fact that I found was that $500,000 was given to, or was raised by SAG and the other one after. I always say their thing wrong, so I try not to say it. Which this is a thing that I've heard of before. It's a very famous thing, an Evening of the Stars, where they raised money for actors and for writers, and so it really helped out people like Robin Williams, which I thought was pretty neat. And this kind of side fact that Ronald Reagan used to be the president of SAG and and became the president. So I thought that was pretty cool. Second is that they weren't on the same page. AFTRA made a deal and they were signing through with it, but SAG's members were not okay with the plan. But in the end, it still went through, and AFTRA called it phase 1, that they would eventually get more out of the TV companies and whatnot. But this fact led into my third one, which was they didn't like the deal at all. They tried to bring it back. They tried to bring it down. They started to tell members and whatnot to force them to come back to the table, the negotiating table with SAG. They aren't usually on the same page, I read. So it's kind of a big deal that they were for the strikes. So this was kind of like a problem for members, because there was a split in the middle of the strike, because AFTRA had the deal and it eventually did go through, but SAG didn't want it, and they wanted the deal to be brought down and brought back, and let's talk about it again. And then the fourth one is many actors didn't go to award shows at the beginning and during the strike. A lot of people didn't go to the Emmys at the beginning of the strike. And all of this strike caused Hollywood to shut down for 2 months. So now we're talking about what I think is the more interesting strike, because it's it's kind of a neat problem that we have. Not neat in it's an interesting problem that we have, because it's something we never thought would happen. We never thought it would happen with TV. Movies were being made, and then TV happened, and we were like, what is this new television thing that you're doing? And then now this new problem arose, was the internet and iPod downloads. All of the money that was going on, that companies were making from people buying, not going to theaters and not seeing it on TV and getting it off of the internet or from Apple. That was the main thing. The writer of Lost was excited. He saw his billboard at Apple and it was awesome, but then he found out that people could download Lost from the Apple Store on iPods, and all of that money was going towards the companies, and none of it was going towards the writers. So what happened is that they went on strike. 12,000 members went on strike, and it cost California a lot. It cost LA $2.1 billion. 60 TV shows were shut down, and ratings and sales plummeted, and it cost 37 1,700 jobs. So pretty crazy impact versus the one in 1980. And they wanted it solved. And the thing that like producers and like the company heads were saying that I read was, we don't know where this is going. Like, we don't know where the internet's going. We don't know where this like whole Apple iPod thing is going. So it was like a big problem that they wanted solved. And kind of a little fun fact is that Hulu and Netflix kind of almost solved the issue, because Hulu went live a month after the strike ended, and it kind of caused people to, because of course Hulu was talked about for a while before it actually went live, but like the idea of you can write your own shows and whatnot on Hulu, and your shows go on Hulu as like it's still a TV service. It provided them the ability to make money. So Hulu kind of solved the problem, but not really, because more problems arise from Hulu, Netflix, and HBO that I will talk about. It caused this, which was pretty interesting. The strike caused creative changes for shows. So I found this article of 8 shows that like benefited from the strike, which is an interesting take. Breaking Bad had originally decided to kill off Jesse, but then decided not to, and they wrote an alternate ending. And Star Trek Next Generation, because their writers left, they used side scripts, or what they called slush pile scripts, to kind of fill in the show. Heroes the strike gave them an opportunity to rewrite their bad season. Like, it was drawn out and bad, people didn't like it, so the next few episodes the strike helped them create something better for Heroes. And the same thing happened to Battlestar Galactica. It gave them a chance for a more creative ending. Pushing Daisies created a smaller season. They created a small season 1 due to the strike, which then led to a huge and better second season, but not a third. So they kind of had like a net win-loss. Scrubs led them to have another season and a change in production companies. They had a really short season 7, and then during the strike they were still making the show even though no company like had them. No, they were under no production company, and so then ABC picked them up. 30s Rock led to a very creative live episode that aired in 2010. During the strike, they had planned this live episode out that they carried through in 2010. And then a series I've never heard of, but it's very interesting, is called a Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, born from the strike. The idea of this whole strike being about TV and whatnot caused the creators of the show to make a web series. So that kind of turned the tables and showed the strikers what opportunities lay from the internet type of stuff. So that was all super interesting, that there was still some creative outcomes from the strike. And then finally, today in 2020, we are having kind of the same concerns. Similar to the strike that happened in 2007 and 2008, Netflix, Hulu, and HBO Max leads to concerns that like they're going to miss out on shows, because Netflix has their originals and Hulu has their originals, and then HBO Max is just taking stuff from TV and movies and their own like HBO Max originals. And so these ideas of the Netflix originals and the Hulu originals, like the originals made on that, has concerns that writers and actors won't be getting the money made from people who watch it because Netflix created it and Hulu created it, so it's just going to go back to them. So it's kind of a similar concern that we have this online database for watching and streaming things, and now it's kind of like, oh, this is a problem, because now I'm not going to get the same, like, I'm not going to get the money that Netflix is going to make from people watching it, like, monthly kind of stuff. So it was pretty interesting take. So that's my little thing for the during conference. I decided to make a video. I'll also post the slideshow with pictures, because I forgot. I'm kind of really busy today. And with all of, like, the, I probably won't do pictures, I'll probably just leave it. With references, so thank you for watching.